Well, good afternoon and welcome to the TradeStation webinar series. My name is Don Prattle. I'm the Director of Trader Development and Education here at TradeStation, and it gives me great pleasure today to present Fausto Pugliese and his webinar today, where he's going to show us how to follow the smart money by mastering the matrix. Fausto's company, Cyber Trading University, offers a comprehensive suite of training programs for direct access traders who want to acquire proven strategies and techniques used by traders on Wall Street. Now, he's no stranger to TradeStation. Fausto was here this morning as part of our morning market briefing, and those of you that attend those sessions know how valuable his insights can be. We are recording, and so this recording will be available on the TradeStation YouTube page later in the week. In addition, if you need follow-up, there are going to be a number of overtures by Cyber Trading University professionals and Fausto himself during the webinar to assist you with reaching them. Now, remember that our presentation here is for educational purposes only. All the symbols and trading ideas that we discuss are going to be for demonstration purposes. They are not recommendations. This presentation is not an offer or a solicitation of any kind in any jurisdiction where a TradeStation affiliate is not authorized to do business, including but not limited to Hong Kong and Japan. Please remember that active trading is not suitable for everybody, and options trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for every trader. I have posted in the chat panel 2 pieces of disclosure information about the asset classes that we connect to that you can trade here on the TradeStation platform in your TradeStation account. And I urge you to click on those, and take those, open those links in other windows, and read them at your leisure. Certainly, these pieces of information are also available on the TradeStation platform. So let me hand things over to that world champion stock trader, president, and founder of Cyber Trading University, Fausto Pugliese. Fausto, thank you for coming.
Don, thank you very much for having me again, and welcome, Station traders and staff of TradeStation. I'd like to thank you all for giving me another opportunity to talk about the great markets that we've been having. Hopefully everybody is not all burnt out after a long day of the market. Had a lot of great actions going to go on. We're going to talk a little about it, and we're going to talk about, most importantly, one of the most important features on the TradeStation platform is the matrix. One thing I swear by, that you cannot trade very successful without it, because it's going to show you how to follow the smart money, and that's what today's topic is. And I'm going to show you a lot about the TradeStation platform and tell you about the features and how it works. So sit back, and like I said, guys, if you have any questions, like I said, try to keep them on the topic that we're on. And I'm going to open up for questions at the end of this presentation if you have anything you guys would like to ask at all. Now, but before we move forward, were anybody here that was part of the morning briefing that I did at 9 a.m. This morning on TradeStation? Were any of you guys here? Just want to double check. Some of you are, okay. The reason why I'm bringing it up, did you guys check out that the one of the stocks I told you to watch, the CAPR trade? And we're going to talk a little bit about that one, how it traded in the pre-market, went from $1.50 to $2 all the way up to about $2.60. It was up about almost close to about 100% on the day. So plus a couple other ones that we talked about, and how do we know it was going to go up? Why did it go up? Well, that's going to be the benefits for it. That's why one of the reasons why we tell you, come in the morning, watch what we talked about, and then we'll come back at the end of the day and we'll see how they concluded. All right, so good. So let's move on. And let me just change the slides here. Just give me a second here. There we go. Okay. All right, just a quick little intro about Cyber Trading University. I know Don was telling you a little bit about us. But just to tell you a little bit about me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of the original SOS bandits, the original day traders that started. We started the first trading room in the industry. We're the original trading room, and one of the oldest educational schools that started. I started about 25 years ago. Now, that's a long time, 25 years, but I just celebrated my birthday yesterday. I'm 46 years old. So, yes, thank you very much. Get a lot of happy birthdays. I was, still here and love what I do. And the reason why I love what I do is because I started, guys, just like you 25 years ago. And what happened with me was I, I hated seeing people lose money. And I wanted to go on my own, but my mentors told me, says, Fausto, you're not going to be very successful trading by yourself, and you're going to have to teach people how to trade like you. So what we do at Cyber Trading University, we're just not an educational school. We're actually, we sit there and we work with you. We have a trading where we work together. We trade together and we learn together. And that's what makes you very successful. And you could see, some of the, there's some staff are there. There's our students, some members of TradeStation, right there in the middle. Geraldo's right there. And then, obviously, I met some of the greatest traders in the world, and that's why you're all here. So not only do you have a great platform in TradeStation, you got to know how to use it. You got to know how it works. You got to know what makes these things go up and go down. And you got to know how to watch these things. Well, Jim, regarding about how to get into the morning briefing, like I said, Don Parado could send you the link, and you can always call in. They can help you out with that. Now, over the years, ladies and gentlemen, I've been around the world. I compete against everyone. I beat every school I competed against. But just please keep in mind, if you want to be a good swing trader, if you want to be a good options trader, you first have to learn how to day trade first. Now, it's not for everybody. And let me just tell you something. That's okay. Listen, trading is not everyone. And that's why TradeStation puts up these events, because they want to make sure that whoever's out there is going to realize what they're getting themselves involved in. You have to understand, TradeStation knows that if you're an educated trader, you're going to be trading with them for the rest of your life. They don't want you to just get into this market and blow up your accounts, and that's why they have great presenters, some of the greatest traders in the industry, to come out and speak on their behalf. And that's what my goal is. My goal is to educate you, why you're failing. You see, winners take care of themselves. It's the losers that you have to worry about. It's the losers, and let me tell you, I love the losers. People are like, why you like losers? Who the hell likes losers? Well, you know what? If you know why you lost, you're not going to do it again. And why is, winning good? Winning's only good if you know why you did well. You don't want to be luck. You want to be skill. Luck comes, being at the right place, the right time. But you got to know how to play the game first. So we're going to talk about some stocks that we traded and what to look for and why we traded some of these things. But you got to remember, guys, when I started trading, my mentors taught me something also very important. And I'm going to pass that knowledge over to you. And they always say, listen, Fausto, it doesn't matter what you think in your mind. It doesn't matter what Facebook is doing or Amazon. It's what's going to give you the least amount of risk with the highest amount of reward. Just like that stock symbol I just told you with this morning, and we're going to look at it to see a, PR that was up literally almost 70% right now. 70%. Guys, when was the last time you saw a stock that was at 70% and somebody showed you that stock in the morning before it even got there? And then you stop and thinking like, how did you know that, Fausto? Well, that's why you're here. I'm here to teach you. And one of the main tools is not only having the right execution, what you have, but also how to have the right windows on that execution system. Because let me just tell you something. 70% of every speaker has different layouts. And for me, 70% what it offers, you don't need it. I'm a KISS method type of guy. Keep it super simple. And as a trader, you're going to see that, the more active you are, the less you really need to be very aggressive doing that. So where should I enter my trades? Where do we get all this stuff? Where does all this stuff come from? All right, so many target entries we need to know is where do we get in and where we get out. How did you know a stock was going to break out? How did you know that there were sellers out there? How did you know there was still buyers out there? You see these stock symbols and you see them and like, my God, I could have bought the stock at 36.50 and in an hour and a half it went to 39. I mean, do the math. 1,000 shares, if you bought that position, you're making literally almost $3 on that trade. $3 on 1,000 shares is $3,000. And that's a lot cheaper buying a $36 stock than buying, a stock like Amazon at $980. Now, I know a lot of you are always going to say, "Oh yeah, but Fausto, I don't have 900,000. That's why I trade the options, and I want, I'll trade 100 shares." Well, you know, that is something else we're going to talk later on. But at the end of the day, how many of you here see these things go up and knew it was going to go up and will continue to go up? That's what we need to focus on. So what we're looking to paint, basically what we're looking to do is we're realizing how to go out there and just trade the stock, okay? We're not sitting there looking there and having the system telling us, because I'm not here to teach you how to read a crystal ball. I'm teaching you how to react when it comes to trading. So let's get right into it. Let me tell you some of the different platforms of how to view the orders. Now, there are 3 different levels of viewing an order. Okay, now here you have the orders at TradeStation. You got a level 1 version, a level 2, and a level 3. Now, you all know using TradeStation, and I don't need to convince you on this, okay? You all know the difference between TradeStation and a Scottrade account, or a Fidelity, or any of those other big brand name company, E-Trade, whatever it is. So what separates TradeStation from all of those? Well, first of all, it's a very big difference. TradeStation is what we call a direct access broker. What that means is that you're driving your own car. When you deal with all the other brokers, they're called online brokers, and that's like public transportation. And we all know the difference between dealing with public transportation and driving your own car. One, you're dealing with a middleman. The other one, they're making money on your orders. You're working on their time. Yes, it could be cheaper, but not always the best way of trading. Okay. Once again, there's another very big difference between a thinkorswim and a TradeStation also. And once again, I'm not here to tell you what's better than the other. I'm just telling you that TradeStation is a direct access broker. Thinkorswim is not direct access. Okay, they're a good company. Listen, they're all good companies. But you got to know how your order is getting executed. And a lot of those platforms don't give you all the benefits. So let me explain to you what the differences are. Because people ask me on the execution, well, why should I pay for this? Why should I buy that? TradeStation, is it free? To an extent, but there are features on here, things that you're just going to need. Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of it. So you got level 1, level 2, and level 3. Okay, so level 1 basically tells you the bid and offer. Basically, you get a quote on Google, whatever it is. Same thing. Level 1 is the first level. It's a quote. What's the stock trading at? If I asked anybody here, hey, what's Amazon trading at? Okay, you look it up right now. You say, oh, Fausto is trading at $969. Well, who's buying it? Who's selling it? Well, you don't know that. That's where the other data comes in. That's just a quote. That's level 1. Now, level 2 is basically, in my opinion, obsolete. It was big in the 90s. Today's times, it's obsolete because it doesn't give you all the data. Actually, I don't even know why NASDAQ still has it, but it looks, listen, it's got its benefits, but overall, it's not going to show you where all the orders. So just kind of reiterate a little bit what level 2 is. It's basically you're seeing the best bid, the best offer of every ECN or the market maker. Now, the problem with level 2 is you're not seeing all the orders. You're just seeing one order. You see, guys, we're all buyers and sellers, right? Anyone here own their home? It's the biggest investment you ever made, all right? Now, you know what you paid for the home, all right? But when you buy your home, listen, is your home for sale? Of course it is. Absolutely. And are you a buyer of your own home if you could buy it cheaper and sell it for a profit? Of course you are. It's a business decision. Now, granted, we're all not looking to sell our homes, but if I could sell my home for a 50% profit and buy it back for a 50% discount, of course you would do that. It's a dumb question. Well, that is one of the big difference when it comes to trading. You need to look at the difference of what level 2 can do. Now, level 3 is where you get to see all the orders. You get to see every order at every price level. Well, once again, getting back to other brokerage firms, what I would recommend you to do is send me an email, and I would send you a detail, because I do education for a lot of brokerage firms, and I'll tell you the differences of how it works. Okay, now the differences, but how do you know? And this will basically guess to you. I don't know who you are. I wish I had your name in there, but regardless, how to answer that question is the only way you know if you have direct access is if you place an order out there and you see your order going out there. If you don't see your order being advertised, then you do not have direct access. Okay? So just to let you know, does that make sense? So once again, let me repeat that. The way you know you have direct access, in which I'm going to invite all of you guys to come and join me tomorrow in the live trading. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a professional trading room, but I'll show you this live tomorrow. But to know if you have direct access is that when you place a live order out there, you should see your order being advertised on the level 2 and the level 3. If you do not see it, you do not have direct access. That's what it means, direct access to the market. Big, big difference. So now you know, now how, and let me tell you how I know this, because when I started, I was one of the founders of these vehicles, these ECNs, electronic communication network. Basically, the way they came into fruition is I was one of the original day traders, and market makers came up to me and was asking me, yes, level 3 is the matrix, okay? And I'll tell you the difference, what is level 3 and what is the matrix, okay? So the matrix is right there, which is level 3. The matrix is basically an aggregated platform that integrates all the ECNs. Level 3 is just one ECN, one exchange that's allowing you to place orders. The matrix allows you to see all the orders out there, which we're going to get to. So let's just one step at a time. But I'll get to that, and we'll get into detail. But I want you to understand that when it comes to trading, you want to drive your own car. And I was one of the developers who started this. So when you want to know where did this stuff come to fruition, I was actually one of the ones. It was me and about 20 other traders that helped build these exchanges that you're using today, which over 10 million people are using. So I'm one of the founders who started it, who helped build Island. You probably heard, if you read any of the books, you say, oh, we heard about Island and Archipelago. I was one of the ones that helped to come to fruition. And I'll tell you why, okay? The reason why you're using these vehicles is for this simple reason. Back in 1996, the exchanges like NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, didn't like the idea that market makers had a, how can I say, it was like an exclusive club. They didn't like the idea that they dictate the price of the stock, and only they can dictate the price of the stock. So if they wanted to make it more of a free market system that anyone could place orders. But back then, if you wanted to buy something, you wanted to sell something, remember back in the old days, you had to call a stockbroker, and they had to post the order up for you. Back then, now those days are over. You don't need them anymore. You could do everything yourself. And that's what the power of TradeStation allows you to do. So that's why you have to appreciate why you're using a platform like TradeStation, okay? That's how basically it works. Okay, a couple of questions coming across here. Let me just eat them really quick. First of all, what about dark pools? I heard about that all the time. Well, Barton, first of all, I don't know who is actually telling you about dark pools, but if you go on Investopedia, you can watch a 60-minute video, which is what I'm going to basically will confirm what I'm telling you. You cannot see dark pools, okay? A dark pool is when one brokerage firm has two brokers, two traders in the same brokerage firm, and they're crossing trades. you could see the order get executed through time and sales, but you will not see those orders. That's called crossing. They're crossing trades. That's a dark pool. Okay. What you're seeing, what I'm showing you, is high frequency trades, HFTs. Okay. So what an HFT is, the difference is that a brokerage firm doesn't have somebody in their own company that they could sell it to, so they have to go out to the street and place those bids and offers, and that's the orders that we're looking on the matrix. Okay, so that's where that comes along. Now, getting back to level 1 and level 2, you do not see all the orders. So level 3, where you're getting to see a lot of the action, that's where you're going to see a lot of the orders. All right. So that's where that comes in. Now, the thing about the matrix, you see all these exchanges like BATS, EDGX, all these. So basically what happens is that the matrix aggregates all those orders to one order, so you get to see all those orders, okay? And it takes too long to add up to kind of figure it out on level 2. That's why level 2 is a little bit outdated, and it's kind of hard. And I know a lot of you here probably don't even understand it. Hell, sometimes I look at them like, what the hell are we looking at? It's like so much data, it gets confusing. So let me show you how the matrix works and how we monitor the high frequency trades. So now, regardless of how to trade off it, we didn't get to that yet. Right now, what I'm just kind of explaining is what is the matrix, what is level 3, and that your orders are going to be advertised just like with everybody else, with every mutual fund, every brokerage firm, every trader, every other trader out there, every Bob, Todd, all of you guys, Tito, all of you. So the matrix, basically how this works, it's an aggregated feature where it's going to show you all the orders out there, okay? It's going to aggregate all the exchanges in one price. So you're going to see every order that is trading on every single ECN out there at every price level. And what this does, it helps us to monitor the big block orders, okay? So on the matrix, you have the blue side are the buyers, and the right side are the sellers. So it's basically what you have. And then right in the middle is the current price. So with the current price, you could see, if you were on the offer, you could see all the way up here, 134, 84, 85, 86. You could see how many shares that are being offered to be sold at that price. Same thing on the bid side. When you look down all those prices on the bid, you could see how many orders or how many shares are looking to be bought at that specific price. And that's right, Barton. This is not just TradeStation, okay? These are every order that's out there from every brokerage firm, every exchange, everything. Now, how do we utilize this data? Okay, now we're going to get into the training part of it. Now you know that you could see all the orders out there. Now, how do we utilize this data? Well, I have a question for all of you. Okay, can everyone answer this question? And by the way, I'll be honest with you, if you can't answer this question, I would recommend you to probably quit trading, I'll be honest with you. So everybody should be able to answer this. How do stocks go up and down? What drives them to go up and down, ladies and gentlemen? You should all be able to answer this question. Could everyone just write S&D? I know if you're not a good typer, just write S&D. Supply and demand, right? Buyers and sellers. It's like common sense, right? Buyers and sellers, S&D. Remember that, and don't you ever forget that. What drives anything, if it's Beanie Babies, if it's a new car that came out, if it's a stock, if it's anything, supply and demand. All right. I had my so let me tell you. Want to hear a funny story? My son comes into me, and I'm trying to teach my kids business. Right. My son goes, "Hey, Dad, I just got on the list. I bought the brand new Michael Jordan sneakers." And I said, how much did you pay for it? He said the retail value was $200. And I'm saying, wow, that sounds like a lot of money. He says, no, it's not, because I had someone just pay me $2,000 for it. I made an $1,800 profit. Now, what is that called? That's called demand. Okay? So how stocks do the same exact thing. You're sitting there wondering, how do I follow the demand? Well, that's the power of the matrix. So now let me ask everybody a question. I assume everyone here knows how to read a chart. I think that's the first thing people learn, right? Everybody here know how to read a chart? Now, guys, be careful, because when I teach my students, about 80% of you are reading them backwards. All right? And then hopefully tomorrow I could prove that to you. But let's just go with the basics that some of you assume know how to read a chart. Now, what makes a chart work is from previous data, okay? It's orders that happened in the past, and basically it works off time and sales, and as trades go on, the chart, basically is following, if the stock went up and went down. Now, this is the million-dollar question. What makes supports and resistance levels on a chart? You guys answer that? I'll repeat it. What makes supports and resistance levels on a chart? You just told me just earlier. Supply and demand. Buyers and sellers. Okay? That's it. Supply and demand. That's what makes supports and resistance levels on the chart. Now, if you notice on this chart right here, there is a 74,000 share seller on the matrix at $45 a share. Now look at the stock. This stock at 9:30 in the morning went from 43.40, and then by 10 o'clock, it hit this price right below 45. And then for the next, 30 minutes, it never wanted to pass $45. Now, did you ever notice when you're in a position, you're like, I don't understand, why did that stock make a resistance levels? What made it stop there? Now, granted, you might see a couple of like past previous resistance levels, whatever. But the reason it's not what happened in the past, because the past is not always indicative of the future. What dictates the future is that 74,000 share seller out there. So that's when you're looking at it like, oh, now I get it. Because think about it. For that stock to go past $45, two things have to happen. Number one, someone has to buy that 74,000 shares. Or number two, that guy has to change his mind and cancel his order. That's basically it. And you're right, JJ, unless you have a 74,000 share buyer, it can't go up, like it or not. Now, how many of you here are seeing 74,000 share sellers at bids and offers? Anyone here monitoring these big block orders? Well, listen, be honest, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody is going to rat you out. You have to understand the greatest feature of the matrix is that now I'm to repeat this, it's aggregating all these ECNs, all these electronic communication network companies, where all these institutions and all these high frequency trades and all these algorithms that you hear about that you thought you couldn't see, well, guess what? You can see them, because it has to be transparent. Otherwise, orders will not be advertised. And by you going out there and seeing like a stock like this, where you have a 12,000 share seller done at 38, look at that. Look at the red, 1,600 shares, 500 shares, 150 shares. I mean, what do you think is going to make more of a resistance level? The guy that's looking to sell 150 shares at 37.89, 98, or the guy that's selling 12,000 at 38? Because if you look at that, look what happened when it hit 38. It went up beautifully from 10 o'clock, went from 35.80 all the way up right around 38 in the matter of what? 15 minutes. It tried to break it. It came down. It hit it again, and boom, look where it is. Now it broke almost down to the $37 price range. How many of you here we're in a position and wish you sold it sooner, but because you got greedy or some indicator didn't answer you back fast enough, started reversing on you? It does, Chris. It does make it much easier to read. Okay, a couple of questions coming across here. So George K says someone can buy on market order and not with limit. Matrix doesn't show that. Well, when you're buying at market, George, you're agreeing to a price. So no, it's not going to show it, but it will come up in time and sales. But if you put a limit order out there on Matrix and you put it like on NASDAQ, yes, you'll see your order being advertised. And George, tomorrow during the market hours, do you want to see it live? Because if you at the end of this presentation, I'll show it to you live in the market. You could see in our professional trading room, okay? James has a question. Fausto, is there a difference on your mind between supply and demand versus support and resistance level? Yeah. Well, it's support and resistance level is the past. Supply and demand is the future. So when you're looking at support and resistance, you know, it's not indicative of the future. So there is a big difference when it comes to that. But you want the confirmation, James, of what happened in the past to give you a game plan to predict the future, if that makes sense. Any way to get more than 10 cents of visibility? I mean, Alexander, 10 cents, I don't know what that means. You know, 10 cents, 50 cents, 5 cents, money's money. You just got to have a game plan to know where the maximum profit you could take due to what's out there existing. So we got a lot more slides to go through, guys. So I'm going to show you a bunch of more. Okay. So let's have a little test right now. Can you guys tell me where is, and now what we call big block orders here at Cyber Trading University, we call them iceberg orders. So could you guys tell me, where do you see an iceberg order? Where do you see a big block order on the matrix? If you don't know the answer, just give me a question mark. Barton, regarding about options, okay, that is a totally different topic. I'm here to teach you how to stock trade, day trade. But if you want to be a good options trader, Barton, I know this goes for everybody. You have to remember what makes an option move. It's the movement of the stock. So if you don't know what stock is moving, how do you know what option stock to trade? Okay, don't be trading options because of leverage. You're trading options for an advantage. So how do you know which one to trade? And if you want to be a good swing trader, for all you swing traders out there, you better know what's happening over the course of the day. Otherwise, you'll never know, because it's what happens over the course of the day which will spill into a swing trade. The easiest thing to do is to day trade, because it's less risk, more reward. You're in and out the same day. When you're swing trading, you hold positions overnight, guys, you're exposing yourself to a lot of risk. Okay? So, if you said $19 and 28,000 shares, you were correct. Give yourself a round of applause. All right? Good for you guys. Now, when you look at that $19 and you look at what happened in the past, now this is Twitter. This stock went from 19.30, went all the way back down to $19 at 10 o'clock, and it bounced. And even though, like right now, it's trading at 19.35, if the stock was to continue to go lower, my game plan would be to buy it at $19 because that's where all the buyers are. Which, let me teach you a little strategy. I'm going to teach you a little inside information. You don't go at 19. You go at 19.01 because you cut the line by 28,000 shares. How many of you guys go out there and what we call shaving, where you pay a little penny more and a penny less, right? A little trick that my friend James Polizzi always taught me, you know, that worked at Big Block Trading. So anyway, once again, these are called iceberg orders. This is what we call big block orders, okay? And the reason why we call them iceberg orders is exactly what this photo is showing you. Everybody thinks we see these little islands on top, but we never realized how big they are at the bottom. When you look at the iceberg on top, that is looking at a level 1. But when you look at the iceberg on the bottom, you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize this thing was as big as I thought it was. And that's why we call them iceberg orders. So if you ever want to know the reason why here at Cybertrade University, which we started calling them these things. Now, the level 3 on the matrix, okay, which we call level 3 / the matrix. Here's a basically what you want to look at tomorrow, because just out of curiosity, who here is using the matrix? You know, I think I'm jumping ahead right now, but let me ask that question. Any of you using the matrix right now? Okay, sometimes, every day? Okay, I'm trying that. Okay, so the thing you got to look at with the matrix is that the matrix is not free, okay? I'm just telling you point blank. And you have to understand something. The only thing that's free is a cheese and a mouse trap. And you know what happened to the mouse. The matrix, all TradeStation is doing is passing over the fee to view this data. And it's not that expensive, okay? It's not that expensive. Like, for example, there are different ECNs out there. There are people that will post orders on NASDAQ level 2, total view, BATS, you know, all these different ECNs. You see them out there? So you basically check these boxes, and there's a cost for each one. Now, the most popular one is you got to have total view. And I think that's like $15 a month. Listen, for you to monitor, think about this. This is a business decision, okay? I have a question for all of you. Is anybody doing this to make money, or are you doing this for fun? Why are you guys here? To make money, or are you just looking to play a video game? What are you looking to do? Well, you know what, Tito? I know it's hysterical, but it is funny, because when I hear people, what they're spending, and all they want things are for free, it's not, those are the ones we want to trade against. So think about this. So if you now think about it, now the reason why I asked that question is that, would you guys pay $15 to see 70% of the volume out there? If you could see 70% of the orders, is that worth 15 bucks? Would you pay $15 for that data? I mean, when I started, I had to pay $800, and that was 25 years ago. And I didn't pay for it, and I blew up 3 accounts until I realized I was trying to make money doing this, and didn't realize you can't do it on an E-Trade account, okay? So you see 70% of the orders. That's basically what you're seeing at, 70% of the orders that are out there. Look it up on Google. It'll even show it to you. So, by the way, if you want to see some more of these examples, live examples, just go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our subscription, and we're always posting samples of these orders going out there, okay? Just to let you guys know. Well, George, there are multiple ECNs out there that you subscribe to. 15 is just for NASDAQ, and then if you want a bunch of other ones, which I recommend you do, it's just someone charge you $5, $10. It's peanuts, you know, and they're just passing over the fee over to you. That's all it is, you know. But if you want to start small, start with NASDAQ and go from there. Okay. Now the next question people always ask is, what if market makers are hiding orders? I always hear, and I always get a kick out of this, and people always say, oh yeah, Fausto, I heard of this, but aren't those fake orders? I mean, guys, and I know Don Prattle will like die laughing right now. Call Don, call anyone at TradeStation, ask them, hey, could I put a fake order out there? And he says, sure you could on demo mode. No, like on NASDAQ, and like put a fake order to kind of pretend I really want to buy it so everyone could see it, but I really don't want to buy it, they will laugh in your face. I'm like, sorry, sir, you can't do that. You can't put real orders out there. You can't put fake orders with real money. You got to have money, put money on the line. So to answer that question, ladies and gentlemen, everything that you see out there is a real order. Okay. Now, can people cancel an order? Of course they could. You can Anyone could change their mind. You change it. We change our minds all the time. I had somebody I just heard just change his mind at the altar, getting married. Is that possible? Yeah. Listen. So people change their mind all the time, but they are real orders. Okay. Now, how do we know if they're real orders? Well, here's a stock that we trade recently, Solfin, and it was in over a 1.5 million share sell order at $7.50. Now, when you look at this sell order out there, you might be falling off your chair and be like, oh my God, that is a major, major resistance levels. And not only that, but you see it on the chart. But what happens if somebody actually went out there and executed that person? How much does subscribe cost for YouTube? It's free, Andy. No cost. Okay? Now, look what happened to this order. You see how the order is starting to change? Now it went from 150 to about 100,000. Now look at this spike in this volume on the chart. 150,000 share order. Now the stock is trading at 752. So where do these orders go? Through the time and sales window. Can you hide your trade size, Rick? No, you can't. No, you can't. Not in the real market conditions, you can't. There is something that, and I'm not going to go into no shows. You could do that, but technically you can't. Okay? All right, so now how do we know if an order gets executed? Well, basically, time and sales window is going to show you if the order got executed or not. So you see these orders out there, and you want to know if did the person get executed? Did he cancel? Well, I want you guys to understand something. What makes a chart go up is from trades that happen in the past. And it's the time and sales window that's going to confirm that. So these are what you're looking at. So when you're looking at a chart and you're like, oh, wow, the stock's going up. Well, you could just tell by just the time and sales by just seeing all the green orders. And those orders mean that somebody on the offer is getting executed. If you want to buy stock, ladies and gentlemen, who are you buying it from? A seller. Where the seller is located? On the ask. You executed them on the ask, your order is going to be advertised on the time and sales. And if you and everyone else is buying it, eventually the stock's going to go up. You see, previous data is indicative of the future. But how do we know that? Through time and sales. Now, I have a custom way how I built my time and sales on a trade platform, on the TradeStation platform. So you'll see, I'll set it up where I see a bunch of 100 shares, and I'll have it set up that will show me all block orders. So if I'm looking at big iceberg orders out there, I want to see if they're getting executed, and we'll show you tomorrow how we customize it on our platform. Okay. Now, when you look at a stock like Lumber Liquidators, and you see a stock go from 33.50 to 36 in a matter of, I don't know, 30 minutes, you got to understand something. Another thing you have to understand is that it doesn't take a lot to make good money in trading. And that is going to be my next topic I want to talk about, is how to find these stocks. But before we do that, does anyone have any questions about the matrix, about iceberg orders, big block orders, any questions at all before we move on? Rick, I think I answered that question. Can you hide your trade size? Yeah, that was the no-shows, but technically no. Is 1 equal 100? Yes. That's basically they're all times by 100. What are the different colors? Shadows. Well, basically, black means trades are going in between the bid and ask. The green are trades on the offer, reds are on the bid, yellow is above the best ask, and then you might have purple that's below the best bid. Other ways to format time and sales that are important. Yes, we are, Alexander, and that's what I was just mentioning earlier. I'll show you that tomorrow in my trading room. Joan, as a question, do you place your orders on the matrix? Well, there are ways how you do it, but no, you basically would work it right off the level 2 platform. You'll see your orders posted on Matrix. Yes, Tito says you said that you could see your orders go through and ask, how can we tell if your orders apart from all the others? Well, the way you could do that, you could aggregate those orders, but I recommend you don't do that because then you're going to lose the depth. Because if you have 10,000 shares out there, that could be made up of 30 people. It doesn't really matter as much as you might think where your order is in that order. The only way to kind of do that is just shave it and sell it for less money. Right, that's what I just mentioned earlier. That's what that color is right there. Where do you get the block data, Jang? You get the block data off the matrix, and I'll show you that tomorrow. But Bree, I don't trade futures. I know. Listen, there are about 2 or 3 people that TradeStation will bring in that I would recommend that are great futures traders. I'm not going to pretend to be one, so I will leave that to them. And this is what we always tell you: you should learn a little bit from everybody, and learn a little bit from everyone, and you see what gives you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. Matt says I use the matrix mainly to adjust my stops, and that's a good way of doing that also. Amy, there is a subscription, but I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm not going to tell you about it. We're not. First, we want you to come in and see if it's for you. Do a day in there, and if it's something you want to do, great. If it's not for you, it's not for you. There's nothing that we're going to hold you and force you into if it's not for you. Okay. But at the end of this presentation, we'll tell you how you can register for a one-day pass to get in there and see what it's all about. And you could do any day you want. So let's look at an example like NBRX, okay? So here you have a trade of NBRX, how a stock goes up. And you can see it's one of the trades that we took off. And you could see, look at all the greens. Green, 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 green. What does that mean? That means trades are getting executed on the offer. The chart is getting that data from the time it sells. And when you think about it, how much money you make, it adds up pretty quickly. You really don't need a lot of money of movement in the stock to make a very good day's pay. It's all about shares. So we can't predict, but we want to react on certain stocks. So let's just talk about a couple of things. When here at Cyber Trade University, we have a couple of great workshops that will show you, that will get even more detail about the matrix. We'll show you how to use, how to find stocks, get some free workshops. You see some things on YouTube that'll kind of show it to you. But you got to learn how to play the game, guys. It's not really that hard. And let me tell you where people make big mistakes. There are different folks for different strokes, okay? And when it comes to being a trader, you need to make a decision on what you can comprehend best. Listen, just because you learn futures doesn't mean that you have to continue trading futures, because it might not be for you. Just like options, just like swing trading, and just like day trading. And you have to understand something, that when I day trading requires the minimum amount of data when it comes to trading, specifically when it comes to indicators. Now, look at this really quick, guys. Which chart is easier to read, number 1 or number 2? So, George has a good question, okay? And everyone's answering this question. In the meantime, I want to ask George. George says, so how did you know in the pre-market that Capra was going to go up? Well, George, a few things. First of all, were you there this morning? That's the first question. Were you there this morning? Okay. So Basically, if you were there this morning, I explained it in detail, okay? And then you had to be in our trading room to capitalize on it. But in just layman terms, what makes stocks go up and go down, George? What makes stocks go up and down? Supply and demand, right? So what do you think made that stock go up? A supply? No, there was a demand out there. How did we saw the demand? We looked at the matrix. People were still bidding it up. Offers will keep taken out. We saw that in time and sales, and then boom, there's your trade. How do we do that? I've been doing this for 25 years. You know, not to brag, but I am the first, one of the original day traders that started. When I started, it was about 300 of us around the world. Now there's over 10 million. I'm one of the great grandfathers who started this whole thing. I helped build a lot of these platforms and stuff like that. And let me tell you, the only thing has changed 25 years ago is that you guys are paying cheaper tickets and still complaining. It's incredible. Back then, I used to pay $25 a ticket. It was $50 round trip, and we still made money back then. And we had to pay $1,000 for a platform like a TradeStation platform, and pay $800 for a matrix, and we're still making six figures. The only thing that got better now is technology got better. There's more to choose from, and your cost went down. And let me tell you, it's never too late to learn. It's not. So anyway, getting back to your question where everyone said number one was a lot easier to read. That's right, because, technical analysis paralysis. Everybody thinks like, you need to learn this indicator and that indicator and that indicator. And I'm not here to knock indicators because they are always right. But by the time they're right, you're going to be too late getting into them. They work for swing trading, they work for investing, but they do not work for day trading. See, day traders, we only work about an hour a day. We only trade, which some of you were here this morning at 9 a.m., we only trade about maybe 30 minutes into the open. When you look at that C8 PR I was telling you about, when we saw in the pre-market, it started at $1.40, and then in the pre-market, it went as high as 160, and right out of the gate, it just went from 160 to $2 in a matter of 15 minutes. That's all you need. You didn't need that big move. It went to 260. And, and that's why we preach something called the KISS method. Keep it super simple. That's all you need to do. Now, here's some stocks that we traded this week. And once again, I'm not here to brag and tell you, but I just want to show you some of the stocks that some of you are trading that you were missing. Did any of you guys trade ALDX? It broke out. It went from 8 to 9. Look at this thing. And this is in one day. One day. It went from $7, and in the first 15 minutes, it went all the way to 8, and then over the course of the day, it went to 11. Now, don't ask me and say, oh, yeah, but Fausto, ALDX, why is it back at 7 right now? Well, you got to ask the swing trader that, because I wasn't swing trading. We were day trading it. And you know what? If you only got half that, you made your money. Barton, that is an excellent question, okay? And I'm going to tell you this. We do not trade penny stocks. What made you think that any one of these stocks are penny stocks? Do you even know what a penny stock is? Does anyone here know what a penny stock is? Because that's a great question. No. Is Sirius Radio trading at $3 a penny stock? That is not a penny stock. Does anyone here know what a penny stock is? Thank you very much, Janice. A penny stock is stocks that trade on the pink sheets, over-the-counter, bulletin board stocks, okay? Those are not penny. No, that is totally false. I don't know who told you that, but that is not a penny stock. Penny stocks are stocks that are trading on the pink sheets, okay? A $7 stock could be a penny stock. It's all about where it qualifies on the NASDAQ National, okay? Now, here's another stock, BZUN. BZUN is something we teach you. They're called FF flags. They're called basically they're called, we call them Fausto flag. Look at this stock. Right at the gate, went from $36.50 to $39. Another big mover, you know? Never heard of it. TTOO. Anyone heard about this stock? Great short. Stock went from $6 all the way to $4. You know, and then it opened up at 4 and it had a nice little bounce to 480. You know, its stock was down 33% in pre-market. Ever heard of it? No. I don't even know what this company does. But you know what? At the end of the day, we're here just to make money. Well, Barton, you know, and you got great questions, and I'm glad that you're asking because that is what I like to see. But let me just tell you this. We have rules at Cyber Trade University, and they're called tradable and non-tradable stocks. And yes, we need stocks that have good volume, good movement, good volatility, because the stock I just told you earlier this morning, the CAPR, traded 33 million shares. Okay? So you have no problem worrying about having a low volume. That is not a low volume stock. But there was a stock like something that might be in your price range, like I don't know if you guys looked at OPTNT. I'm sorry, I spelled it wrong. OPNT. That stock was great. It was up 30%, and maybe this was in your price range at $36 stock, but only traded 300,000 shares today. Okay? So everything is relative, and these are things that one of the biggest things that we train is what's called tradable and non-tradable. Now, guys, I don't need to convince you on this. Trading, this is one of the best jobs in the world. You are your own boss. You can come and go whenever you please. You can do this anywhere in the world. We know Social Security is not paying enough, okay? We know that, you know, being older, it's harder to get a job and keep up with the Joneses. You know, there's no business out there that's going to pay you the salary like being a trader, but you have to learn before you can earn. And that's why TradeStation, you know, hosts and puts these events up for you. But you have to learn from mentors. This is not a, you know, a self-taught individual. You can't do this on your own. And let me tell you something, guys. You're not going to learn from one person. You might have to take courses from 2, 3, 4 people just to understand how trading works. This is not, listen, how many of you here went to college? I mean, I have a 17-year-old right now. I cannot believe the stress that the school is putting us through. Does anyone here went to college? Any of you here or put a kid into college? My God, not only are they asking for $70,000 a year, but they got to pass SATs. They got to do good in school. They got to have resumes. They want to know everything about this kid's life to accept them. Forget about even that you can afford it. They want to know that you really have to do everything in them. That's even like ridiculous. I'm like, my God, it's like a Ponzi scheme, you know. And you know what? They don't even guarantee you're going to be successful at it, you know. Well, Barton. So you know what I'm talking about. Ryan and George, you know what I'm talking about. So what makes any of us think that we could just all of a sudden go out there and trade on our own? Would you give your money to somebody to run your finance that never went to school to learn finance? Listen, the most important thing that you have to focus on, okay, and this is why I want you guys to come and join me for one day in my trading room. One thing that makes us different from every other mentor and educator out there is that we trade with our students. And you're going to see our students, how they basically work on their own with the other students. See, first of all, we do not tell people what to buy and sell. First of all, just to let you know and be compliant, TradeStation knows this, it's illegal for anyone to tell you what to buy and sell, okay, unless they're a registered rep. What we do is we have a watch list. We tell you what to watch, but our job is to teach you. We trade together, but you're going to make your own decisions. We're not here to sell you an indicator, tell you what's going up and going down. First of all, you do not want that. You want to be able to figure it out on your own, but you want to have proof to see if people can be very successful at it, and that's why we want to invite you all to come and see in the trading room. See how we use the matrix. See how we use the time and sales. See how we customize our charts and meet the students doing it themselves every day. Now, what we're also going to offer all of you guys here is that you're going to talk to the staff of CTU. You're all going to get an education advisor. They're going to walk you through the trading room. Listen, you're going to get this all for free. Listen, we want you to make sure that trading is for you. TradeStation does not want anybody to blow up their account. It is very, very hard to, find clients, and the last thing they want to do is lose them, and that's why we're here. So we want to make sure trading's for you, because like I told you, it's not for everyone, and that is okay. All right? Listen, I just mentioned college, right? Is college for everybody? Some of you just said, like, became a retired doctor. Do you guys know that 20% of the kids that go to college do not even fulfill what they went to school for? 80% of them do something totally different. And they basically figured that out when they went to college, right? Still got that diploma. So the point is this. If you're a futures trader, a forex trader, an options trader, a stock trader, a day trader like me, you have to listen to professionals, join their room, see what it's all about, and then you make the decision it's for you or not. But please don't go out there and try to do it on your own. So this is what we're offering everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Come in, do a one-day free trial. Go to our homepage or our website. You're going to get a bunch of exclusive stuff. You're going to get 5 exclusive trading workshops. You're going to get hundreds of hours of archives of Q&A strategy sessions. You're going to get all this stuff for free just being a TradeStation client. And why would we do this for free? Because you know what? If this is for you, then you're going to probably want to learn more, and then you will be part of the team. And then you will spend a little money. But we don't want to ask you for anything unless this is for you or not. So you got to learn before you could earn. You're also going to receive my TradeStation workspace, the layout, which I know you guys love that. Everybody wants their layout. We're going to give it to you for free. We'd rather you focus on what you need to focus on and get rid of all that spaghetti on your screen. So how do you start learning? Be part of a team, be part of a family. Come and join our trading room. Right there is the link on the homepage. You can basically, it's right on our website. Let me just see it. Bring it up. And just register. And you know what? You don't have to start tomorrow. You could start on Monday. You could start on Friday. Whatever day you want. You guys make the decision when you want to start. But it's right on the homepage of our website. All right, guys. Now, we got a couple of minutes left. Does anyone have any last-minute questions? JJ, thank you. And by the way, we have a lot of students here and of CTU, and they're here to help recruit you guys get in there because we're a team. How we trade together. That's what it's all about. Jake, just click on that link and we'll get you registered. How do you spend influence getting into day trading stocks? How did I get influence? Well, basically, I was a stockbroker. I wanted to get into finance living in New York. I see these kids, 18 years old, 20 years old, driving Ferraris. I'm like, and my dad always said to me, he says, son, if you want to be rich, you're not going to be a landscaper. So, I was first generation Italian, and I went to college being a landscape designer and realized that, I was going to be very successful at it. But being in New York, which is the financial capital of the world, I became a broker, hated it, quit, but I learned the most prestige job was out there as being a trader, which is what I liked. I'm very good at numbers. And I tried to trade on my own. I blew up 3 accounts. My father said, here, I'm giving you one more shot, but you got to get a job. And which I didn't want to do, basically, because I didn't want to share my profit with somebody. But what's sharing if you're not making anything? So took a job, did very well. And within 2 years, I went on my own, started my own school, started teaching students to trade like me, trade with them. And, I had a lot of students and instructors started their own schools, their own trading rooms. So, that's why I tell you that we're the original trading room school in the industry. But if you read my book, you'll learn a lot more about it too. But till today, I just have a passion. I just love doing it. It is so much fun. And let me tell you, it got a lot easier. I've been through a lot. I've been through the crash of 2000. I've been through the crash of 2008, and believe it or not, you might not like to hear this, but those were one of the most profitable years I've ever had. You know, and it all starts learning how to day trade. Any other questions? What's the name of my book? Well, How to Beat Market Makers at Their Own Game. That's basically what it is. You could get that on Tito on our website. No problem, Chris. Like I said, just do the Just do the trial. If it's for you, it's for you. You move forward. If it's not for you, don't worry about it. At least you'll know what trading is really all about. You got nothing to lose but seeing the facts of what trading is. And we're going to be showcasing the TradeStation platform in the trading room. You're going to be there all day. Just most important, just going to give you a little advice. Make sure you log in at 8:30 Eastern. It's an hour before the market opens up because most of our trades we do in the pre-market. We do a live audio broadcast at 9 a.m. Okay? You can't see, well, you have the number right there. You can call or you can click on that link. But I just post a link right there. You can click right there. You can go also on the homepage of CTU, ctu.co. And right in the homepage, you can see the link right there. Getting started. Okay, guys? All right, well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank Don Prattle and the staff of TradeStation for having me here. It's always a pleasure seeing you guys in the morning. And, like I said, I wish I could be there every day, but, at the morning briefing, guys run a fabulous morning meeting, and it's great to hear all the ideas and people asking questions. And it's always nice to do these events. And like I said, I look forward to all of you being part of the family. So enjoy, ladies and gentlemen, and don't forget, you have to learn before you could earn. Thank you very much. Thank you, TradeStation. Thanks, TradeStation traders. And like I said, look forward to seeing you at Cybertrade University. Have a great day.
That's an excellent closing, Fausto. You have to learn before you earn. And yeah, and that's how we feel here at TradeStation, because the idea that a lot goes into picking all the various trading strategies. You may not be a day trader. You may not like these various stock choices that Fausto and his team find. You may be an option trader or a futures trader, but in order to know for sure, you need to experience all of it. And that's why we have these wide range of our educational offerings here, so that you can spend time with these professionals, learn from their experience, and put it all together for yourself. That will result in better trading ideas for you and give you greater profit potential. So with that being said, it's been a long day for us here at TradeStation. I want to thank you all for spending time with us at today's event. So with that, we'll be back in the morning for the morning market briefing at half hour before the New York market opens. Our speaker tomorrow is Ben McDowell of TradersCoach.com. So we'll see you then.